Everybody needs astrology in their business. Now, of course, I understand that sounds very meta from an astrologer saying that about astrology, but seriously, even if you're skeptical, even if you're like, well, I don't really know, keep listening because I'm going to offer you some practical examples today of what it looks like to use astrology and how it really shifts and changes your business. Welcome to the Astrology as a Strategy podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Panassi. I'm on a mission to help you amplify your influence so you can free up time to spend with your family while increasing your revenue. I'm an astrologer, business mentor, an adventure seeker, and a proud mama of 3 kids. Think of this podcast as your shortcut to more joy and ease in your business. Running a business is joyful, and when you're not having fun, you haven't cracked the code yet, but that's about to change. I share practical and short tools how to use astrology in your business and life. So let's get started on using your energy strategically to make a bigger impact, have more free time, and grow your wealth. But first we're going to zoom out, and I always love to use the analogy of growing grapes. Your business is a lot like growing grapes. So before you even think about growing anything, you need to be able to prepare the land. You need to plow the land, you need to fertilize it, and oftentimes we need to let the land rest in order for it to be ready to hold the space for the seeds. So if you're in a phase where you have some ideas, but nothing really seems to stick. You're in this place of reinventing, rethinking a lot of things. Then maybe those seeds aren't ripe yet to be planted. But you can work the soil so that when the seeds are ready, when you have ideas and projects that you're excited about, you can actually start putting the seeds into the ground. Then the next phase is you're nurturing the seeds. They're slowly starting to sprout. You're really careful because they're very fragile. So you make sure that you water them the right amount of water. You make sure they don't get too much sun, not too little sun. And then once they grow a little bit longer, you actually need to start to guide the vines, because if you just let them grow on the ground, you might get a few grapes here and there, but it's not optimal. So you need to build structures. You need to build a support so that the vines can actually grow vertical and be supported in the best way. Then the vines are going to have flowers, and the flowers will turn into grapes. But still, we need to keep watering them. We still need to keep checking up on them. We still need to see if everything is okay. And then once the grapes are starting to form, we need to make sure that there are no bugs or any other animals or birds are going to eat the grapes, because then we don't even have the time to harvest them because they are already eaten. A lot of times we need help with the harvesting, and we need to be able to be very careful with which grape we pick, because they don't all ripe at the same time. So which bunch of grapes is ready to be picked and which one needs to stay on the vine a little bit longer. Then afterwards, you have the grapes, and what are you going to do with them? Are you going to make wine, or are you going to make grape juice, or anything else with the grapes? Because think about it, if you want to make wine, it takes a long time for the wine to actually be ready to drink. Sometimes it's a few weeks, a few months, some of them even a year, to really get that deep flavor, that deep taste that wine can have. In your business, a lot of it is like that, because even once you have the wine, how are you going to sell it? Are you going to keep it? Are you going to give it to people? There are so many steps that you can think of in your business and in this season and cycle of life. So I want you to think about, what season or cycle are you in right now? And I actually want to encourage you to think a little bit deeper. Because what astrology is really good at is giving words to feelings and sensations that you're already having, but are having trouble putting them into words. And to give you a very practical example, one of my clients is in this phase where literally everything feels up in the air. Nothing feels secure. Everything is like moving around and it's almost spinning. So with all of these balls up in the air, for her, it's very hard to find the focus. So what we focus on is we take one thing at a time that is up in the air, we pull it down to the earth, and we experiment. Hey, how does it feel like? What response does it create in your body? How can you work with it? What comes up for you? And if there's no response, if there's no enthusiasm, we just let that energy, let that idea go up again without having to get involved or really push ourselves to really make it happen. So we keep pulling down different areas, different things, different ideas. We test them out, and if nothing works, we let them up again. And the thing is, we are really working the soil right now. So there's no seed that is ready yet to be planted. But the interesting thing is, sometimes a seed just needs a little bit more time to be ready to be sprouted. I mean, think about it. In the middle of winter, it's not the best time to actually try to plant seeds and to grow something. So while the seed itself is already good, the grape seed itself, there's nothing wrong with it. But the season is not right to be planted yet. So the only thing that we can do, or actually like the most important thing to do, is to really nurture the soil and to take care of it and to prepare. This is also a very frustrating phase, especially if there are some very hard aspects involved in astrology. It can feel like you are literally going nowhere. Like everything you try doesn't take off. But this is really a very important preparation phase to when the soil is ready, those seeds will go in and it will take off. You will feel that the momentum is picking up and things start to click over and over and over and over and over again. But we have to be patient for that. And this is actually one of the seasons. If my client is in a season like this is actually one of the hardest things, because we're so taught to keep pushing, have to produce, and because it's not a sexy phase. If somebody's asking you, hey, how's your business going? Well, I'm tending the land, but nothing is really happening from the outside perspective, because actually on the inside, there's so much happening, so much being cleaned up, so much clarity is being developed. I mean, there is no clarity. Well, there is a bit of clarity, but it doesn't feel like you have a lot of clarity, but actually you're really moving through the mud, really like discerning like, hey, what is it that I want to take with me? What is it that I want to leave behind? It's kind of it's almost like reinventing your identity and reinventing how you are as a business owner and how you are as a person. We go through that all the time, but some of the phases, this comes up really, really strongly. On the other side, one of my clients that I had a conversation with this week, she actually is in the season where all of the vines are completely full of grapes. And while her team is doing some of the harvesting, she actually has to really encourage them to harvest. And once she encourages them, they will do it. But she's kind of the motivator to keep everybody going. So we discussed that for her it's very important right now to hire an executive assistant. So she can communicate with the executive assistant, and then the executive assistant can actually help to guide the team. Because she's spending a lot of energy on guiding the team. And here's where your personal leadership come in, your self-leadership. How are you able to take the responsibilities and direct your team and direct the people that you work with so that your life and your business become easier for you? Now, I know there is a period of time where if you hire new team members, there is this time where everybody needs to get used to their responsibilities and understand the business and everything that is involved. But there has to be a time where every single team member can motivate themselves, where they can pick up a project themselves and actually go with it. So for her, it was important to tell her executive assistant, hey, those are the grapes that need to be harvested. This is what I want to happen with those grapes. This is what I want to happen with those grapes. So be very, very direct in how she guides her team and how she guides the people. Start to think about things for themselves. And the beautiful thing that I've noticed is with all of my clients, and sometimes I joke, like, I'm almost afraid that one day a client will come and say, no, that is not me. That was not what I was feeling. But that actually hasn't happened yet. And honestly, I don't think I ever will. Because the women that come to me, they are ready to dive even deeper into the layer of their identity that they know is there. They know they can reach it. But astrology will actually fast track that. You would potentially be able to get there by yourself and just figuring things out. But astrology provides you that fast track that helps you to get deeper into those deeper layers and give you the insights that you already know you have. It really gives words to the things that you're already feeling and experiencing. It helps you to then take those words and those insights to your team members. And then your team members actually know how to translate that feeling or that sensation that you have. A lot of times when we feel things, it kind of gets hard to explain to people exactly what that means. And especially if you're communicating with your team, it can get challenging to really convey what you are feeling and what you are experiencing. Because as a leader, you're leading the business. You're leading the team. But that doesn't mean that the team is in the same season or phase that you're in. So you need to be able to have the tools to communicate that with them and to tell them, hey, this is important in my business right now. Here are the grapes. Go make wine. Put it over there. Let it rest. Let it sit. And then we can tackle another task. And the beauty of that is the thing that I hear my clients say over and over again is like, yes, that's what I've been feeling. Yes, that's what I've been thinking. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how you put these things in words because I couldn't find a way to express it. Or in some cases, even like the women feel like they, not losing it, but almost don't take those inner inklings seriously because sometimes they're so out of the norm or out of what they think is expected of them. And then once you get that permission, like, no, you are absolutely right on your feeling. Could we do without? Sure. But who doesn't want that confirmation? Who doesn't want to feel like they're taken serious? And this is why you need astrology in your business. Because why do we have to make it so hard when there are so many tools available to you to lean in to your intuition, to lean into the deeper layers of your identity, of your personality? Because I don't have to tell you what you're good at because you know exactly what you're good at. You know exactly what your talents are. But you also know and sense that there is a part of you that is not explored yet. A part of you, a part of your leadership, a part of your self-knowledge that hasn't been touched yet. And astrology helps you to draw that out and to give you the right prompts to go even deeper and to explore that for yourself. If you're listening and you think, yes, I know I have these deeper layers and I know that I want to access them because it will definitely make my business run so much more smoother, the communication with your team. For this year, the end of 2021, I have one spot left for a one-day retreat. And if that one is calling your name, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. You can find me on Patricia Panassi, or you can email me at hello@patriciapanassi.com and you'll find all the links in the show notes. Because I really want you to understand how you can use this knowledge to communicate with the people around you and to make a plan for the next 12 months, which is what we do in the one-day retreat, to help you to flesh out where do you stand, what is needed in the next 12 months. And the monthly themes are going to help you to keep coming back to that deeper layer of yourself, to keep coming back to digging deeper, feeling more, embodying more, And I know you already do that, but I also know that there's so much more out there for you, so much more possible. So if you allow yourself to move with that, to let the astrology guide you, mind you, not dictate you, because it's not something that we use as a dictator where it tells you exactly what to do when, but it inspires you what to do when. So things will run more smoothly. You know when to launch. You know when to put yourself out there. You also know when to rest, which is not the most sexy thing in business, but trust me, rest is, I think, maybe even the most important thing in your business. So make sure that you have this beautiful plan ready for yourself and for your team, so you'll be able to go into 2022 with so much ease and understanding that you're just so ready for what's ahead of you. Because one little side note, 2022 is not necessarily going to be a super smooth and easy year. The last 2 years have already been, well, quite interesting, just so to say. And 2022 is really going to be a combination of all of that. And we're going to build on the energy that we have put forth in the last 2 years and work with it in a way that is going to bring not just your business, but also society to a next level, because there are so many systems that are about to crumble or going to crumble. So within that chaos, we need to be able to rebuild ourselves, rebuild our businesses, and find the clarity to create this new world that we're really craving. So if that one-day retreat is calling your name, reach out to me, because I'd be happy to explore the options with you. And I will talk to you next time.